everybody. My name is Thea Bates.
I'm Justin.
I'm Tori.
I'm David.
And we are
NerdPunch.
I did it right this time.
Today we are talking about 3, maybe 4, depending on time, games. First game will be Quantum Break. The second game will be Gears of War 4.
Woo!
And the third game will be Last Guardian or Dark Souls 3, depending on time. So we're going to go ahead and start off with Quantum Break.
So on Xbox exclusives, who you guys enjoy third-person shooters, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you guys enjoy pretty good storylines.
Yeah, I love storyline. I'm a main storyline.
Storylines are life.
So this game will be perfect for you guys because Remedy Studios, the creators of Alan Wake and Alan Wake's My American Nightmare, they came up with a new game that was the idea was published back in 2013, but they wanted to save it 3 years later because this was meant to be an Xbox exclusive. So Quantum Break is basically a third-person shooting game which has a good set of actors from I don't really watch a lot of TV, but I know these guys are like pretty famous actors. So the concept of this of Quantum Break is basically you gain the ability to manipulate time, but the thing is, the more you manipulate time starts to decay. So what do you guys think about that concept?
That sounds really cool. It kind of reminds me of the Alan Waking, so I think they're kind of feeding off of that because, like, the more you dive into his memories, the more the environment around you starts to decay and stuff like that. So it sounds really interesting. I'm kind of interested in playing it.
Because I've seen some of the gameplay already, and the AI in the game, it's not like
God, don't be Cortana.
It's not. No, the AI in I seen the AI just like get thrown off by like everything I can do. So it's like pretty logical AI, but knowing some games like The Last of Us, some AI may be a little buggy, but I'm hoping this would be the one game where AI is actually knowledgeable.
So when you talk about the characters, is it like Until Dawn? I don't know if you've seen Until Dawn, but they have like the characters are real actors, like they're real people. Okay, that's legit. I like that. Alright.
And I could tell that Remedy Studios has been working on this game for a long time because they meant to release this game around the time where the Xbox One was just released. That's what they were meant to release the game for. But they decided to actually hold the game off for about 3 years, and
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and the game will be out, I believe, next week.
It took perfectionists to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Resident Evil 5. They had to hold the title back for like about a year because we were expecting it around Halloween.
Yeah, we were.
So
Disappointments.
Yeah, so the combat system's actually really nice. It has that atmosphere of Watch Dogs, except Watch Dogs was made by Ubisoft, and like I played Watch Dogs, I lost interest in it in a matter of like
it was one of the games where the commercials made so much hype about it, and then you actually play it, and it was just like, where's the hype? I don't see the hype that much. It was really just like a Grand Theft Auto, but with better technology.
Yeah, because like I've played the game, beat every single level, finished every single mission, taken over the entire map, and I honestly drained this thing to the core, and yet I'm still not impressed with this game whatsoever.
Well, I hope Quantum Break is like something where I just want to play it over and over again, you know? Yeah. I hope it's something I'm just gonna sit down, be like, sorry, homework, and just play the game, you know? I hope it's something like that.
It's because, like, the concept of the game, it's, like, interesting, okay? It's like they put shooter games to, like, a whole new level because Gears of War was, like, a post-apocalyptic war zone.
Mm-hmm.
Still beautiful.
Yes. Halo was the first person, which actually talked about aliens invading Earth, but now it's just like it's like who do you trust these days? Like that's where the Halo storyline goes.
Mm-hmm.
But then they give you a third-person shooter, which talks about like the manipulation of time, and like this, and like plus like they considered like their game to be like a bit of a TV thriller and like with an action game built into it at the same time.
Yeah.
Would you think it's something like kind of, I don't know, like they have some storylines where they're just like very psychological, so that they kind of like mess with your brain as you keep playing the game, and it's just like, I don't know, it just makes you think about like they have a few games like that, especially horror games.
That's
They do
like the
that.
main thing when it comes to horror
Yeah.
games is messing with
Black
your
Ops 3
mind.
does not count. Like the Black Ops 3 campaign story, it does not count because.
It counts. It has Jesus trees and has baby Jesus who disintegrates.
See, no, it's just like it's like mental infection warfare with Call of Duty Black Ops 3, but with so I saw how the combat system actually worked. Besides the talk of AIs, gunplay is awesome. You get to do time dodges. You get to freeze people in a certain place.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and plus, if there's one person like shooting at you, you can freeze them in place and like have time just move normally.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, okay.
And you can also unfreeze. You can also unfreeze certain people while time is frozen.
Oh, wow.
Sounds kind of complicated, but
Yeah.
Sounds complicated, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah, the controls will be there, but yeah.
Did you ever say when the release date was?
The release date is August 4th.
Is that the official, or are they
Official.
gonna keep changing
It's
it?
official, yeah.
Okay.
August 4th. Okay.
Alright, cool. Anything?
They're like a
check out?
pre.
Like
Oh.
any beta or anything
Yeah.
already out?
The only beta that was already out was actually announced that was actually shown at E3 2016 at their
Okay.
press conference, and back in 2013 when they actually announced the game.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
cool. Anything else?
Nothing further actually.
Alrighty, cool. So then we're gonna move on to Gears of War 4. I'm
Woo!
super excited about it. A few years ago, they said that they were gonna stop with the Gears of War with Gears of War 3, which was really disappointing and heartbreaking to a person that like loved the Gears of War series. And then Judgment comes out. You thinking, okay, that's Gears of War 4. It
not.
really wasn't. It was just like another side story of Gears of War 3, letting you play as Bear and Coltrane sort of, and seeing what they did while Marcus and Dom were doing their
Don't
other
mention
stuff.
Dom.
Rest
do it.
Rest in peace,
So,
Dominic, man. He's in a happy
If
place.
you know the history of Gears of War, it's post-apocalyptic, like David said. Not really aliens per se. They're more called locusts that invade the Earth and kind of destroy it. It's really badass, getting ready to kill them.
If you don't like gore, however, I'm sorry. If you don't like gore, however, I would not recommend this game
Especially-
because
The gore
it gets
levels are
intense.
high.
It does.
each game, it gets more intense with the gore. So.
Especially with the storyline, with like the dramatic family stuff going on, like
Mhm.
like spoiler alert if somehow you have not gotten around to playing Gears of War 1 to 3, like Dominic has like the worst timing possible.
Like he ends up in jail because he breaks military. He broke an officer order or something like that.
Yeah.
Where he, instead of going to a place he was ordered to go, he decided to save his father, which ended up what you thought he died, but in 3 you found out he was still alive.
But
ended
he
up
still
dying anyway.
died.
Yeah, but like Gears of War 2, he went to go find his wife. They worked her like near death.
They did.
Yeah, she was dying anyway, so like he put her out of her like painful misery.
Oh, they died.
Oh yeah, but moving on to Gears of War 3. Now that we spoke about some of the history of the past series, the beta will come out in April 24th. But if you have early access through memberships on, and if you already played the Ultimate Edition of Gears of War, you'll be able to get it in April 1st. So the beta actually kicks off for everybody completely with or without early access April 25th and will run until May 1st. The Gears of War actual game itself, there's no official date when it'll come out. All I've researched, it said that it'll just come out in the fall, so between September to December of this year, the Gears of War game will come out. I've already pre-ordered it, so I'm patiently waiting for
I
the
want to
game
pre-order
come.
it, but it's just like.
So you've watched the so I'm assuming you've watched the E3 gameplay of.
Yes,
Gears of
I've
War.
seen it 2 or 3 times. It's really badass. Speaking of the new characters that I saw in the trailer or the E3, trailer, the characters look like their voice actors, which I thought was really cool. Starting with J.D. Phoenix is one of the first male, one of the main characters in the game. J.D. Phoenix, I don't know if you recognize the last name, is Marcus Phoenix's son. He's so cute, and like I say, he's a legendary son of Marcus Phoenix. His voice actor you'll probably recognize is the one of the characters from the show Flash. He's known as the Weather Wizard. So that's cool. You can just relate to that if you want to.
Yeah. Just let it sink in.
The new female character is known as Kate Diaz. She's not really related to anybody from previous games. She's just a new character, born from a family of the group called the Outsiders, which you'll learn about as soon as you play the game. Her voice actor is known as Laura Bailey, which I thought was really cool to find out that she was voice acting her, because she was the voice actor for Kid's Trunks in Dragon Ball Z.
No, I was like,
which I thought was really cool, and she's also the voice actor for the Spartan Olympia Veil in Halo 5.
Yes.
Ooh.
So that's what I was excited. I was like, what?
She's getting out there. And the new black guy, which is really cute, he's handsome, Delmont Del Walker. He was an orphan. He became a COG member only because JD became a COG member and they were friends and stuff. He's played by Eugene Boyd, which is a guy off of Arrow and the show Bones.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yep.
Who is it?
Eugene Bird. He was, I think in the show Bones, he was like one of the people that looked at the bones, the crime scene investigator, sort of. I can't remember the name of the people right now, but he was one of the scientists. He didn't really last that long in the show, but he did a really good job.
Oh, I know who you're talking. I got who you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know who
he was
you're
kind of
talking
like
about.
one of the only. There's not a lot of black people on that show, so no offense to the show. Moving on to the actual story. The story is pretty simple. If you want more information, you gotta play the game, of course. It's set 25 years after Gears of War 3. So, Gears of War 3, a lot of people died. It's really sad. We're not going to get into that.
We don't talk about it.
We're going to just move on to the old but new goodies in the new game. Moving on into the weapons. You still have the stub pistol. That's one thing that hasn't changed. They haven't done anything to it. But the Lancer chainsaw is still there. And they attached a flashlight to it to enhance the accuracy and make targets easier to see. And allow the ability to highlight creature features. So you'll be able to see the creatures a lot more clearly, and which I thought was cool, because if you watch the trailer, they kind of have like a horror movie horror game feel going on in the game.
Wow.
Like I don't know if you've ever noticed, like a horror game, you can see how like the buildings kind of move sort of, and it's kind of misty. So they kind of did that with the setting for this game. Moving on to the Gnasher shotgun. It has now a shell rail attached to it, simply because it just looks cool. It doesn't really advance the game, the gun anymore.
It just looks nice.
Nicer.
The Asher shotgun's already powerful enough.
It's already good by itself.
There's no way they can make that thing any better than
exactly.
Except if you put slugs in it.
Just make it pretty. Just make it
Slugs
pretty.
would be nice.
Moving on to the new games, they kind of did a construction worker feel with these new weapons. They look like advanced version of construction equipment. So the first one is the drop shot. The drop shot is the replacement for the digger, because if you remember the digger, you shot it, if you aim correctly, it goes underground and it shoots out like a mine at your enemy. But the replacement does about the same thing. Instead, the drop shot fires aerial mines that float over the battlefield in a straight line as long as you hold the trigger. The moment you let go, the mine spins downward violently. If it hits the ground, it drills for a second while exploding, blowing any nearby enemies into chunks.
I need that in Call of Duty, bro.
See, no, because
online, just like
because Call of Duty, we're bringing back, we're doing the throwbacks, and Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is officially the first game that has put a sword in it.
Oh wow, cool. I might actually want to play it, even though I'm really not a big Call of Duty fan.
Yeah.
But say you manage to hit an enemy with it, it drills directly into their head, decapitating them while their body convulses into a mine and then explodes.
Oh, that is awesome!
Man, see,
we're not terrible people. I just want you to know we're not terrible people.
Props,
it's just
props to the developers of Gears of War. It's still Epic Games, right?
They get all
actually, the developers are Coalition and Splashdown.
Thank you guys so much. You guys have
like that.
Put an amazing effort into this.
Yes, it looks really good, but it kind of looks a little weird, like chunky, sort of like it's really huge looking weapon when you see it on the screen, but I kind of want to see it for myself in the game. I can't wait to get it. You know they're not going to give it to you at first, so I'm really like play it. So
I wonder if it's going to be one of those weapons where it like slows you down.
It probably will, because the weapons do look really heavy. So I don't know. One way to find out is to play.
Yeah.
But
Please tell me the retro lancer's still in the game.
I don't know anything about any weapons.
Man.
Sorry, you gotta play to find out.
Gotta play to find out.
But moving on
Pre-order.
to another game, it's called the Buzzkill. The Buzzkill is really freaking cool when I found out about it. It fires buzz saws. I don't know if you know what that is. It's like a circular saw with like sharp edges, and it fires buzz saws at them. It shoots a lot of them at a time, so it's like a machine gun, but they're shooting instead of bullets, you shoot buzz saws.
Fantastic.
So I thought that was like really cool.
Just imagine using that in multiplayer mode.
I know you can
Imagine
like,
using
kill
that in real
everybody.
life. I wouldn't use it in real life. Just a FYI. But
I'm
yeah.
gonna stay away from you. Okay.
And they redid the combo knife. They redid a lot of the knives, especially with the cog knife. It looks really cool. It's really big, and it looks like where if you like to stab somebody with it and you pull it back out, you pull like their intestines out with it. So it's really cool.
So like some Mortal Kombat.
Because it's
Sharp
like
teeth.
jagged and stuff.
Yeah,
like
sharp
that.
teeth, sort of.
Really? Oh,
Fatality.
But like a
Sharp teeth.
wavy version of sharp teeth, sort of, but still looks really fucking awesome.
Wow. Nice.
All right, moving on to the thing that I'm really cool about. I'm really glad they updated was the monsters and the enemies. So first thing is the drones. Instead of calling them locusts, they call them drones now. So the drones are most familiar with the swarm enemies, just locusts. They're really advanced versions of them. They're instead of just them being like dull, I can't really remember their colors, but they're like just dull colors on them. It's more of just like they're red and black and badass. The Grenader looks terrifying. They got one called the Grenader, looks really cool. But moving on to the actual monsters, the new monster, one of them is called Juvies. They're an advanced version of the Wretches. Because you remember the Wretches, they were just like this lumpy little monkey that screams at you every now and then and they'll claw at you.
I
But the
hated those.
Juvies are 10 times better. They jump on the walls and they'll jump down at you. They'll still do the scream,
Right.
but they can, they're much faster and they're way harder to hit.
Oh.
And they have a deadly ability. They still do the screaming and stuff like that, but they look way better. Instead of being like this green little ugly thing monkey that jumps around at you, they're white and blue and they look really scary.
Oh.
So it's really cool just to see
See,
them.
I'd probably panic kill them.
I think that like while I'm playing this game, I'll have like a gist of like Dead Space all over again.
Probably, yes.
Probably.
Yeah,
I don't know
'cause
if they fed off of that or not, but either way, I still love it to death.
Because especially like since like I've seen a little bit of the gameplay too, and like I can just imagine like going into like the like a dark like abandoned buildings and stuff with like flickering lights and just like having like a couple of computers turned on and all of a sudden a bunch of creatures just jump out at you. It'll feel like Dead Space where I run out of bullets in my plasma cutter and I'm like, oh, what do I do now?
When I watched one of the gameplays for it, it was like it kind of had that Dead Space feel without being Dead Space.
Right.
It's kind of creepy, but it still was just like I don't know, suspenseful in a way. So I feel like it will kind of have that Dead Space kind of feel, but instead it'll just be more intense and more horrifying.
Okay.
And more gory because it's Gears of War. Why wouldn't it be?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's not the last monster, but the last one that I decided to talk about is this new, really, really awesome monster that if you watch the trailer, you should already know what I'm talking about because it's the only monster that they introduced in the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Probably because it's the best one out of all of them. It's called the Pouncer. It's like
It's
a giant
terrifying.
mole rat looking thing with armor on its back, and it does it like that. So if you shoot bullets at it, it won't do anything to it because it'll bounce right off. The only way you can kill it is by taking your chainsaw or shotgun and
Just
shooting
being like-
underneath. And it's really cool.
Sounds
Oh,
sounds,
could I-
sounds
Go ahead.
like
complicated.
I think when I start playing this the new Gears of War game, I'll actually be able to memorize like the names of like all the enemy types, because back in like Gears of War 2 or 3. So like back in Gears of War 2 or 3, me and my cousins, we always play like we quad screen together. Like we play well, like me and my cousins, we play like we split screen basically. And like we never remember like the name of the game, so like recently when we went back to playing Gears of War 3 for a short amount of time, I brought back like Like I couldn't remember the names of those creatures. Like what are the main guys who mostly use like the just like the regular assault rifles? What were they called again? Grunts or?
I think it was.
Ask the question again. The people with the assault rifle?
Yeah.
They were called the grunts.
Yeah, it was the grunts.
I couldn't remember that for some reason. I couldn't get that into my head. So like the only way just to make it funny, like we called them. Each kill we get, we name each Kardashian.
That's messed up.
That's really messed up.
It's really messed up.
I just imagine they're like my teacher. You gave me a B instead of an A. I don't get specific.
It's like as I chainsaw one, I'm like this is me like sawing off like half.
Fuck
of your
you,
butt.
Chloe. I can just see that. My mom be like, "Who the fuck is Chloe?" Nothing.
Don't matter.
But one thing I almost forgot to mention about the Pouncer, which was the coolest thing about it shoots quails at you. From a distance, like its tail is kind of like a scorpion thing, but instead of like injecting poison, it shoots quails at you.
I didn't see that in the trailer.
Yeah, it was in the trailer. You probably didn't notice because it was like a quick little thing.
It was okay.
And they didn't show it in the E3 trailer, but if you look online, it's in that one. Gotcha. And it shoots quails at you, so I thought that was like really cool because they got projectiles on the monsters now. So that's like really, really cool. Instead of them just, because he'll still come up and attack you, he'll beat the crap out of you, but he'll still, the quails can slow you down. So you gotta dodge them. And even in the trailer, just seeing JB trying to dodge those quails, and I think Kate was in the trailer too. It was really hard for them to do it. It knocked out the windows of the cars and stuff like that. The quails are like huge. Like
I didn't
maybe
see that
if you see a soda bottle, it's about that, but like a
I didn't see that in the E3.
Quails, not quails. Quails.
E3
I said quails. I didn't even realize it. My director told me, you're saying quails, right? And I was like, no, it's quills. My bad, not quails. They're not shooting birds at you.
No, they're shooting the birds.
They're shooting quills.
You know what you were referring to.
I was like, man, that's a cool monster. A big monster that can shoot like quails at like
I
birds.
didn't mean quails.
Invented quail birds that just
this is
fly
why you
and
need
attack
directors.
you.
They're not shooting birds at you. They're shooting quills.
I want to see a monster that shoots birds at you.
Literally shoot
That's
like
some Angry Birds
like literally
stuff.
shoot infected vultures at you. They just like fly and attacking you.
This is terrifying.
Angry Birds times 20.
But yeah.
Angry Birds are already overpowered as they are, so.
Yeah, but this one's just like instant death.
I sat here processing. I'm like, quails.
I'm sorry for the people that were watching. Like, why are they shooting quails?
They're not shooting quails. They're shooting quills.
Quills. I'm sorry. They sound the same. They just resonate. No. Okay, that's pretty much all I have on Gears of War 4. But if you want more information, I get most of my information from GameInformer.com. Also, there's a lot of information on GearsOfWar.com, of course, and TrustedReviews.com. So you can get that from
all
there.
the information.
I think we have some time for David to go ahead and do his Last Guardian.
Yes, the Last Guardian. So, do you guys enjoy shooting?
Of course, we just got to talk about Gears of War.
Yeah.
Do you guys enjoy bullets, bloods, guts, and gore?
We just got to talk about Gears of War, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of correlates.
Well, this isn't
Don't
that
forget
game.
this thing.
What?
Now, think back to Shadow of Colossus.
Oh, I love
Think
it. I
back
hated
to that
it, but I love it.
abandoned atmosphere where it's just you and your horse. This time, The Last Guardian, this is more of a friendly game. This is like a kid who's like adventuring around these like tombs and or like abandoned temples.
Is it like a scavenger game or?
Not necessarily. It's more or less just an adventure game.
Okay.
And
Can I ride a horse?
No, you get a big giant.
I don't want to play it then.
Well, you don't get a horse, but you do get like so the boy is this small. His companion is much taller than him. He's basically a big, oversized dog with bird wings, bird
I'll
legs,
play it.
bird beak.
I'll definitely play it.
Yeah, pretty much Ruins in a Griffin, kind of. And basically, what it is you're like, I saw like this at the Sony conference at E3, and what I saw from this game, this is basically like a puzzle Lara Croft type, but it's like a small young kid just like adventuring around, discovering things.
So he's Ash from Pokemon.
Pretty much.
But his age, he'll probably not be 10 years old forever.
Probably.
Yeah, except there's not really much detail. All we know is this is an adventure game. There's not really much of a of a goal of what it is. Just because so far we've seen him just like go against all odds. Like as he's about to fall into this deep dark abyss, his griffin dog, whatever that creature is, comes to save him every single time he falls off of a ledge that
Save
breaks.
it the last minute cliche.
Yes.
So how do you guys feel about like Sony taking on like like a kid friendly game that looks really stunning but also has some nice adventure to it?
It sounds interesting, but I don't know if I'll like be drawn into it. I'm more into like the blood and gore and people beating the crap out of each other type stuff.
I'm kind of skeptical of it a little bit, just because it's something that I just don't really see them doing and it being very effective. But I'll give it a try. Though.
See, because like in my opinion, like I like games with good storyline. And like this, and this kind of reminds me of Shadow of the Colossus because it's just you, your horse, your sword, your bow.
You don't have a horse. You got a griffin.
A really big, oversized griffin.
You keep saying horse.
You saying your horse? I was like, no. He said there was no horse.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't Shadow of Colossus because if any of you guys play Shadow of Colossus, like those,
so beautiful.
Those big giant colossuses were really difficult to kill.
Really? No. As farther as you got, the more difficult they were.
Yeah.
So if this game is like that, then maybe.
Yeah, because like I can as far as I can tell, like the puzzles like there are like puzzles coming around where you and your partner can get around place to place. Some people may take some time to figure it out, but at the same time, it'll click to some other people. But like the puzzles get more difficult, and you will die like a few more times than usual.
Okay, anything else important, like when's the release date for?
Do you know the release date or any information?
The rating has not been picked, but I assume it'll be rated T for teen. And there is no official release date yet. They just shown us small games.
Is it like it's gonna have like the same type of puzzle that it did in the Eco?
I don't think so actually.
Because those puzzles were challenging in the Eco.
Yeah.
Alright, we loved having you, David, but I know you gotta skedaddle, and
Yes.
you gotta get rid of the Asian David and bring in the white David.
White David!
All right, see you guys.
And now, with the joining us of the white David, we will now talk about Dark Souls 3.
Which I'm excited about! It's the best game ever right now.
Alright, I haven't been playing much of the Dark Souls series, but I did play Demon Souls, and that's when I first started with Demon Souls. And I did enjoy playing Demon Souls for a while. And then I got the Dark Souls, and I got pissed off.
I mean, Demon Souls was like kind of a challenging game, but when you got to Dark Souls, it was just like the stories of like it just got harder. And then it got more depressing and harder. So it was just like, I don't know how to feel. I like had mixed feelings with playing the game, and it just got worse as more Dark Souls kept coming out.
Well, the thing about it is like, because it's so challenging, it gives you that really grand feeling whenever you accomplish something.
Yeah,
like you finally
it really
get it.
does.
It's like playing the old classic games and stuff, because old classic games are actually kind of challenging.
Right.
Yeah, they were.
I'm glad they
I went back and played Mario a while back.
I was like,
I don't know what I was doing back then, but not happening.
But I'm so excited for Dark Souls 3 because it has like the story as ones that are Dark Souls,
right.
The Dark Souls series. But it has the combat of Bloodborne. And Bloodborne was really hype. Like, everybody loved Bloodborne. But you had some people who didn't like it because it had kind of this fast-paced kind of combat thing that a lot of people were kind of used to. But Dark Souls 3 brings that back also as well. So I'm kind of excited for that. I feel like it's just going to hold people back from like that co-op thing where it's just like, yeah, I can do this with co-op. But it's just like, no, you can't. Because the bosses and stuff are much harder than the originals. And it's just like, you have to actually strategize. I mean, you had to strategize in the other ones, but this one, you really have to strategize. You can't just be like, I'm going to bring another person in, we're going to defeat that. No.
Oh, wow.
It's not like that.
So it's more complicated. I actually am looking forward for it now. I already was looking forward to that
You
now.
mentioned how Bloodborne had a lot of people that were like, nah, kind of not really.
Yeah.
See, I did that, but only because they took out magic. Like, spell casting,
Yeah.
just straight up spell casting.
Yeah.
They basically took it out.
Yeah, but I feel like that made it more challenging and made you, instead of people, not talking about you, that really just stick with magic and that's all they want to do. With how they have Dark Souls 3 now, you have to have different weapons. Different weapons are more powerful than others, obviously, but it's just like they have more higher effects than the other ones. So you can't just stick to one type of weapon.
Right, and they started exploring that in Bloodborne. With
Yeah,
the
they
different
did.
types, with certain things being righteous weapons,
Yeah.
certain things being blunt, and it's been a thing throughout Dark Souls with the slashing and blunt, and each enemy having specific resistance to it. But in Dark Souls 3, it looks like they're going to emphasize it more, whereas yeah.
And then they have like they have like all these new enemies. They have like 45 new enemies, and then you have these new bosses, and it's just like already when you meet a boss, it's like extravagant. It's just like the best thing ever. But they made it more
It's the worst thing ever.
No, I mean like when they come out, it's just like, oh, it's so beautiful. It's till you get hit. But I'm just saying, it's just they made it like just like, oh my God, it's God, you know. It's amazing until you get hit. That's when it's just not amazing anymore. But with also doing that, they made the bosses much harder. You know, it's not as well. It wasn't easy before, but if you thought it was, and you get to Dark Souls 3, you have another thing coming because they're not the same. They're trying to make it as more harder, but they also want you to involve strategy and things. It's just amazing now. They just came up with all this stuff. It's like, we're gonna make this much harder for everyone. So you don't have those people who are just like, I beat it in 2 days, blah, 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 blah. You won't beat this in 2 days.
So I don't know if you've got it in your notes. Do you have how they discussed the new engine?
Yes, I did, and it was. Oh, you describe it. You do that. That's yours.
They changed engines that they're using.
They did.
For the fact that now they can include more monsters on the screen.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
More monsters in Dark Souls.
Yes.
So, I mean, you think about the first one with Firelink and how you've only got like 6 or 7 enemies on the screen at once, and you're like, man, I can do more than this. Dark Souls 3 is going to deliver.
Yeah.
They changed their engine for it.
Like Dynasty Warriors delivered?
No.
No. No.
No, no.
No.
Because then it comes like Warrior Souls or something. Yeah, you know?
Yeah, then it's just like, you know what, I'm not playing this game.
Yeah, exactly. Because then it becomes too much of a, it's already kind of a hack and slash, but
Yeah.
Dynasty Warriors is like the extreme of hack and slash. It's kind of like bullet hell.
Yeah.
Like,
basically. And then they changed like the map. Like I love how like, you know, the setting is kind of like this big castle or whatever, but it kind of reminds me of we were talking about like Shadow of the Colossus, where it's just like nothing but land, like area that you can explore. This has that same, Dark Souls has that same concept where it's just like land. You're not just in the castle. It's just like more things that you can explore around the castle. But it's also kind of, to me, they really messed me up with this because they want to have more hidden enemies. So, and they will wait for you to walk in before striking you. You will not know that they're there until you get hit, which I'm like, I'm okay with, but then again, I'm not okay with. Because I accidentally, like, you know, fear kill people. That's what I call it. I fear kill people.
Happy.
she freaks out and then
I'll
everybody's
freak out
dead.
and then everybody dies. That's just basically
her
how
warning
it goes.
staff. Is why we can't trust her.
Warning stabs exist.
Which is why we
It's
can't
not
freak out.
It's called stabbing people. But have y'all heard of any of the problems with the new game?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I kind of found like some research on like the camera can get caught on the walls or
But
obscured by the enemies.
that's a fairly Dark Souls kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's been prevalent throughout the series, and it's one of those things you're always going to find a way to mess with the camera.
Yeah.
Like,
It's that. It's glitching into walls. They had that problem with, I think, Dark Souls 2.
like Bloodborne, you can look through your weapon
Yeah.
and see like the graphic on the inside.
I feel like any games will kind of have like these small problems, you know. I feel like it's just.
And mostly it's going to be with the camera because the camera is.
I can see through my weapon. I feel like my weapon is made out of plastic.
But when you use it though.
Yeah. Well, the one I'm referring to in Bloodborne, the one where it's a sword, but then you've also got the big stone thing on your back. Whenever you swap, it's just this big hammer. Well, whenever you hold it, it's held over your shoulder.
Yeah.
So you can kind of into it and
Cool.
But yeah, you run into those all the time.
Yeah, you run into those problems, but it's just like sometimes you don't notice, sometimes you don't care because it's just like it's still an awesome game. You're still gonna play it.
And most of the time, it's not groundbreaking. Like, it doesn't break the game. So, did you have another example?
I also love. Oh, go ahead.
Well, another problem I heard about is the menu. The management doesn't have the most logic, hierarchy, or layout, which can make comparing items or equipping consumables a clumsy puzzle. So, like a problem with the menu and navigating it and stuff like that.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Muscle memory. You do it enough, you'll figure it out. 2, do you know the release date for the PC?
For the PC.
Or have they announced it yet?
They have announced it, but they had changed everything.
Okay.
Because now for US, it's gonna be released April 12th.
Right.
Everything, like PC, PS4, Xbox One. But for Japan, their PC doesn't come out until ours come out. So
Japan just came out
March 24th.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Japan gets everything first because it's Japan.
I mean, it's Japan.
It's Japan.
I expected it.
Even when they make animes, we gotta wait for it to be translated.
Yep.
Yeah. Where I was going with that is mods. Mods are always, as if they open it for mods, a modding community is going to be big.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Dark Souls 2 and 3, it wasn't as big, but since Skyrim and other games have exploded the mod community.
It really did.
They were there.
Like Skyrim had a mod just for that, like inventory management, and I'm sure there were more than one, but they made it simple. They changed the layout, everything. So look forward to that, I guess. If you're on PC, everybody else got to deal with it.
Yeah.
If they don't update it on the game, you're out of luck.
If you love the game enough, you'll deal with it.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I think I love it enough. I'll just be like, you know what? You live and you learn.
Or you can always go to PC.
Or you can always go to PC when I get a better
I swear I'm not PC Master Life.
I prefer console.
I'm a console.
I doubt you on that one.
Oh, but why?
I slightly doubt you on that one. Just
I got used to the Skyrim inventory section and stuff like that. That was pretty easy for me to get grasped. So I guess it all depends on how the mindset of a person is for the inventory.
Yeah.
We're gonna just talk about a couple more things.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about kind of the story because the story is kind of like if you go back to where it's like the Lord of the Cinders type of thing, that's where it kind of is right now, with like the resurrection. So, when you get to the bosses, they'll be like, hey, I remember you. What do you say?
Weren't you a bit shorter?
Yeah.
Like, one of the funny things I found out about the story, it's like kind of like a weird hide and seek game. Like, you go out, you find the bosses, you gotta kill them. Which reminded me of this Lord of the Rings game, where it's about the same thing. You go to the boss's territory, you kill them, you gain popularity and stuff. Well, not popularity, but you gain, like, points for killing them and stuff. I really like the Lord of the Rings game. It was really cool.
Yeah.
It mostly sounds like Shadow of the Colossus, really.
Kind of, yeah, but this one's just like, for the Lord of Sin, you have multiple, like, different of the bosses that you have to fight, and it's just like, you were smaller. What happened? They kind of made it more deeper.
Aren't you a little tall for a stormtrooper?
Yeah. It's like, what happened? Them steroids just hit you.
I mean, after seeing that one thing that came with the, on E3 last year, it's like, I see this giant knight. It just makes me think. I a tiny person versus this huge giant right here. Just like in Shadow Colossus, kind of. Final boss.
Yeah, but it's just like the enemies. Yeah, I feel like they upscaled the enemies and things like that. You know, they have more of the enemies and things, and I think you guys should really check it out because if you are people like us that kind of started from like the top, started from where it was like just starting off, and then it was just like, yeah, start from the bottom, now we're here, type of thing. You know, it's something that we're really excited for, and if you haven't started like the Dark Souls series or anything, I think it's a really good game to start off with. You will cry, you will feel things, you might even rage quit, but you must continue.
I rage quit on Dark Souls.
Don't do that.
I only played Dark Souls 1 for like 10 minutes. After I was like, fuck it, I'll play it anymore.
I had a buddy, he played through Sin's Fortress, and he's like, nah, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't even care anymore. And I'm like, dude, you're not even like part way through it. He's like, no, Sin's Fortress, done. Rage quit, done. Can't do
Dark
it.
Souls, I just got up to the gargoyles and I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Oh God. Or Sin's Fortress. No.
But you guys should really check out
Let's
these
Play.
We'll be definitely doing those eventually. Okay, thank you guys for watching. I'm Thea.
I'm Justin.
Tommy.
I'm David.
He's Batman.
And we are NerdPunch.
Makes us how I work it.